Welcome back. This is Tonya Coleman with a new episode of SPS with the Sighted Blind. It's been a little while. We apologize. Winter break was over. Kids went back to school. I started learning Braille. Things got crazy. Unfortunately, my SPS is getting a little bit worse. More muscles are being affected. We have an appointment coming up. And unfortunately, my vision has also gotten worse. I used to be able to actually see my children, and now I can just see what appears to be blobs of light and dark. So I can make my way around the kitchen by feel because I know it so well. So that's where we're going to stay today. We're going to make some breakfast. While it's cooking, we're going to show you a couple things that we did around the kitchen to make it more safe for me, and so some of the other things that I've learned. So we're going to start with breakfast. This is a neat little trick if you don't know it. Sometimes I dump a yogurt into a bowl and I pour some granola into it, which is actually a very easy peasy thing for me to do. The yogurt's always in the same spot in the refrigerator, and the granola is too. You'll see that soon when we show you what we did to the pantry. So what this little trick is, just making an egg with a little bit of cheese, some bacon or ham or something if you wanted to add into it. So you just get a mug and you spray it down so it's not so hard to clean. And you hope that you spray actually in the cup, because I obviously can't tell for sure. So we're gonna put the oil back. But actually it doesn't matter, we can just leave it on. Did I shut the cupboard? So I don't have my head on it? Okay. Bring this over here so I know where it is. So in the refrigerator, we haven't done as much as we want to. Eventually we're going to be a little bit more specific with it. I do have a tiny little miniature creamer, so I'm going to show you how I make a K-cup as well. Although that's usually an afternoon thing when the kids are at school, because we make a whole pot of coffee. So here's the eggs. My gluten-free bread's right here if I want to make a sandwich. So the next one might be me making a peanut butter jelly sandwich, which should be fun to watch. Excuse me for snorting. So you're going to get out an egg and some cheese and whatever else you want to add. So we have a cheese drawer. I don't know. We have drawers, and then we have things that I can usually feel, but we have a label maker coming from Hadley. Hadley's been terrific, and they are going to send me a label maker, if you will, so that I can make a label that says SJ for strawberry jam, and when I reach for jam, I don't have to guess necessarily what flavor it is, or if I accidentally have caramel syrup in my hand or something like that. So this is where you just hope you don't get an eggshell in your cup. So you crack an egg into the mug, and then we're going to put some cheese in it. And I apologize, but I have to wash my hands because I have like an egg phobia, if you will. So if you notice over here, my family does a very good job about keeping this area clean. They try not to set anything to the left because they know that I clean all of my own dishes as I go out through the day when they are not here. So they try to keep this area clean, and this area, they put the clean dishes away in the morning so that I can put my clean dishes there as the day progresses and they'll get stabbed with a knife or something. So next we are going to whip the egg in the cup. So I'm actually going to get out 2 forks because, again, I don't want to eat with the same egg fork that I whipped with. So this fork's going to be for later. So you're just going to whip the egg right in here. I like sound effects, they're fun. So you give it a little whip, just like scrambled egg. Then you put some cheese in it if you like. And however much you want. Usually I just kind of stick my hand in there, unfortunately for my family, and scoop out what feels like, you know, a nice little dollop. Who doesn't like cheesy eggs? You can also salt and pepper them if you like. I am not a pepper fan. I am peppery, but I'm not a pepper fan. But I will put a little bit of salt on it as long as I can feel the salt really quickly. So I'm going to put this egg or this fork in the sink for later. And we're going to get out a little bit of salt. Oop, I'm sorry. Might have to wipe that off. I'm going to get a little salt. It's right here. Which I do not feel. So we're going to go without salt, but that's okay. I'll survive. So this is our microwave. The Commission for the Blind also gave us some dots. So I know that this is the stop clear button, and then we have a different kind of dot over here, which is a 30-second button. So when you're doing this in the microwave, you want to do it for 1 to 2 minutes. I usually do it for 90 seconds and then check, because I don't like my eggs to be soft, but I don't want them to be too hard either. So I hit it 3 times, that's 90 seconds. While that's cooking, we're going to show you the pantry. Excuse me, what we didn't hear is we kind of made this particular shelf my shelf. So this first one is fruits that I eat, prunes, apricots, things like that, and the granola that I put in with my yogurt. This next one is snacks, protein bars, crackers, things like that. Oops, I missed one. This one. This one is treats. So if I want a treat after my coffee, like a caramel or something like that, but it's in this one. And then next is my coffee. So we're gonna pretend to make a K-cup. I'm just not actually going to make it. But I'm gonna show you that I can make it. Our coffee maker happens to be a dual one, so maybe you don't have a dual one, but I can make my own coffee while the kids are at school. I just have to find a coffee maker. Oh, I never took this one out from yesterday. So I would put the K-cup in here, press it down, put it back in here, which sometimes takes me a minute. And I have to push it down. I have to turn it like this. I usually have a cup here, sometimes with a spoon in it. I measure the water, and I also have a nifty little thing that tells me, Maddie, where's the zapper? Is this it right here? Yes. So I would put this in the cup, and it would tell me when it gets full. It zaps when the water's full. So if you want to hear that, it's kind of neat. So that's how I know that it's full, and then I usually dump a little bit out because I like strong coffee, and it really fills the cup up, and that's almost too much for a K-cup. And then I use that little squeezy bottle that I got out, and I know how many pumps would need to go into this cup for me to have a correct K-cup. So that's what that little pump does. I just have to hold it carefully. Where did the pump, Matt, I'm sure, oh, here it is. So this is what I would squeeze into the cup to get the right amount of creamer in there. So egg-wise, we're just gonna take a look. Oh, it smells good. Did it go over, honey? Nope, it's just oily. So I'm gonna get my new fork out, because now I can I know I'm anal and weird. So this feels a little bit soft to me, so I'm probably gonna put it in for another 30 seconds after the video stops, and then I'm actually gonna eat my breakfast because I'm hungry. So this is breakfast. There's lots of other ways you can do it. Like I said, we have yogurt on the top. I uncook a yogurt every morning, sometimes let it come to room temperature. I can dump it in a bowl because I'm not an idiot. I can pour the granola into my hand and make sure the granola is going into the bowl. Sometimes I add pecans. Occasionally we'll pour milk out ahead of time so that I can have oatmeal. But mostly I stick to this yogurt or cereal in the morning with some fruit. And cereal is pretty easy. I actually like my cereal dry, which is weird, but that's actually quite helpful because I just have to pour it into a cup. Other than that, I think the last thing I might show you really quick while my eggs are cooling are some of the Commission for the Blind things we got. One of them is a toothpaste dispenser. You wouldn't think it would be that hard to get toothpaste on a toothbrush, but let me tell you what, it's harder than you think. So we got one of those. We also got a label we scan this over a label and we talk to it until it puts that word on the label, and then we put the label on medicine, for instance. So I could do this all around the house, but then I would be walking around with my label reader. So the label maker that's coming with the stickers, I think is going to be a lot easier for things like strawberry jam, for instance, in terms of just removing the sticker and putting it back on the new product. This was working just a second ago.
Power on.
Okay, so we turn it on. I'm just going to show you today how it actually reads it. So you hold it.
Zofran.
If you heard that, it said Zofran. So this is my Indian Citron, which is my anti-nausea med. Most of my other meds are up here, and I use this every Sunday to fill up my meds, and then my husband double checks them to make sure that I didn't make a fatal or accidental error or anything like that. They also sent me a talking calculator, which everybody who didn't know, we decided not to keep balancing my checkbook because that was stupid and I was the only one who really wanted to do it. And they've sent us lots of other goodies. There's extra, this is just my little spot where I keep my wallet and other things, but there's extra tips for the canes in here. If you can see, there's lots of extra stuff. So I think that wraps up today's video. Next time we're going to try to do lunch, maybe make some peanut butter and jelly sandwich, get some chips out, things like that. Hopefully you enjoyed today's session and you're glad that I'm back, back in motion, if you will. Thanks for watching, and let us know if you have any questions. I know there was a couple questions that we recently just answered, so always happy to answer questions. And everybody have a great Easter.